Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mondays with Mardos. And this week, we're going to talk about understanding the different parts of a cigar. But before I get going, I need you to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell to be notified every single week of new episodes on Mondays with Mardos. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. This is a partially smoked cigar, but it's going to allow me to take it apart, and I'm going to show you guys the three aspects of a cigar. Now, a cigar is made up of a wrapper on the outside, just like this, a very thin leaf of tobacco. Now, this is the most expensive part of a cigar. The wrapper can go anywhere between $25 to $70 a pound. Also, when it comes to a wrapper, this is going to be the finest leaf. It's not going to have a lot of big veins on it. It's going to have nothing that is going to be showing any blemishes. So you want to make sure that it showcases all in one shade of color. It's going to be the part of the cigar that gives you a lot of flavor. They say it can make up to 40% of the flavor of the cigar. I don't know if it's that high, but it does make a difference in the flavor. So if this cigar was wrapped in a Maduro, which is a darker wrapper, opposed to a lighter wrapper, which is Connecticut, the flavors are going to definitely shift. Now, how much of the percentage does that make up? I don't know, but it does make a difference. Now, this part of the cigar is called the binder, and the binder is what allows you to keep the cigar together before you put the wrapper on the cigar. So basically, a binder is a leaf that never made it into a wrapper. So again, it's going to be quite a higher quality wrapper, or tobacco, I should say, or a leaf. It does have thicker veins, and it doesn't have to be the same tobaccos. That is what's so cool. Now, cigars are blended. There's various different tobaccos within a cigar that can come from various different regions of the world. This could be a Nicaraguan wrapper. This could be a binder from Peru. The fillers could be a mixture of Dominican, Cuban, Honduran, Brazilian, Indonesian. I can go a lot with the IANs, ins. All right, so this is the filler. As you can see, the filler doesn't look as pretty as the wrapper and the binder. And you can see here, there could be different shades of color of tobaccos. Like for instance, this tobacco right here is much darker than this part right here. And you can see that there are a lot more blemishes on filler tobacco, because aesthetically, we really don't care what it looks like as long as it's good quality. And as you can see, it's all compressed. When I took it apart, it made up a lot of filler. So when they make a cigar, they take a tobacco from this bunch right over here. So I'll kind of demonstrate a little bit like that. So a filler can consist of, let's say, 3 different tobaccos. So this is going to be blended. A torcedor, which is a cigar roller, will take a little bit of this, and he'll put it right here, and take a little bit of this. Now, there's a method to the madness. I'm just making it look like it's really simple, but it's really not that simple. And then he'll take a little bit of this guy, and he put it in there. Now, there's going to be different primings of tobacco within a filler. There's going to be lower priming, and there's going to be higher priming. Now, why do you want that in a cigar? Lower priming leaves from a plant is going to help with the combustion of the cigar. Since it's thinner, right? So lower priming extends. A leaf extends out looking for the sunlight. As it extends out, it gets thinner. Higher primings doesn't need to really fight for sunlight, so therefore they're not going to grow as long and as wide. So therefore they're going to be a little bit thicker, and that's called a ligero. And it's going to burn hotter. It's going to be more oilier, so it's going to give you more strength. And sometimes you find a little bit more flavoring. And then we're going to use some viso, which is in between the primings of the lower and the higher. Now, that's where master blending comes in, and knowing what to use what and when, where, how. But seco is used usually on the outside of the bunching, because since a cigar is cylindrical, and when it burns, you want the outside of the perimeter of your filler aspect to burn, and the ligero is usually in the middle, because we don't put as much ligero as we put seco. So when you're smoking this cigar, you want the seco help combust the ligero. Anytime you see a cigar with a spear-like shaped ash, the guy's smoking it too fast. The seco is burning faster than the ligero, so you want to slow down This is an art. This is time for relaxation. So take a deep breath, chill, and smoke your cigar. Now, back to rolling the cigar. After you have it bunched, usually, well, not usually, you always have the binder leaf open like this. You put it in. If you're gonna roll it freehand, you roll it freehand. Or if you have a rolling table, you usually have a lever and you use like a zigzag roll. You just pull that lever, whoop, it rolls it for you. Then you place this in a mold. The mold will have, basically it's a tray like this, and it'll have different slits. And you put one in here and you make up 10 of them. You press it by putting the top on there, you put it in a press, and within 45 minutes to about 2 hours, you take them out. It'll have a perfect round cylindrical shape like this. Once the cigar has its shape, then you're gonna take the finest tobacco leaf, which is gonna be the wrapper, and you're gonna put this cigar, and you're gonna finish up with a wrapper just like that, and you're gonna have a final product of a beautiful cigar. Now, you need to let this cigar sit for about 40 to 60 days for the tobaccos to marry. You definitely want the foot to be nice and open so you can let the ammonia dissipate. Ammonia is a byproduct of the tobacco. You don't want that ammonia flavor in your cigar. So that is the 101 illustration how a cigar is made. But let me know in the comments if this was helpful at all. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week. Remember to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and tell your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you guys.